We just made the field kind of thing. I didn't do everything, but we have something else for the code. The code, the code, the code. So like the last time I was talking about how I was just trying to get the text and I showed you a text field. This one was something different. It's the same thing, but it's a little bit more like, oh, there's two now. So I was continuing with my notes and I got to a part about the text field and, I was just curious, wanted to test it out. So based on the new knowledge that I gained, I saw that I've been able to really understand, what's been going on a little bit more compared to before, of course. The more I ask questions, the more that I'm reading the code, the more that it's, making sense. There's still things that are still like, but overall, so far I'm able to get a grasp on the basics and I was able to do what I just showed you. I would say so far, if you kind of want to do something like this for yourself, the best, if you are somebody who's like video tutorial based, I feel like this guy's pretty good. Like, Mitch Coco, he has like a master class. I skimmed, I didn't really understand it, but I feel like he has a lot of really nice, tutorials that you can watch, and it's all Flutter based, and that's really cool because one of his most recent videos, which was 2 months ago, it's like him making an app of $1,000 a month. And I come from the trading world, so when I hear shit like that, I'm kind of like, I'm like thinking about it, but I'm like, I'm tired really. And this isn't even really about money for me. Like, even though I am thinking, okay, this could be something, I'm mainly thinking about the purpose, how it can help me and others. And I'm always sticking to, like, if it can help me, it can help more people. And this is particularly for scalpers because I know what it's like to be, in the market and on TradingView specifically, looking at the markets and having a setup already set up, and then last minute price does something you weren't expecting, but then it gives you a setup, and so now you gotta like readjust and you gotta go quickly. So the same ticks that you had before is different, right? And as a scalper, you wanna keep on a consistent risk per trade, and you have to figure out, okay, how many contracts do I need now? You got to adjust if you're that type of scalper. And so I wanted to build this app because, like I mentioned before, the paper that I have over here, like, this is how I would like look at my wrist, just so I can be a lot more dynamic. I can just look to my right and be like, okay, boom, scroll, okay, this trade is 10 ticks, boom, 20 contracts to risk $250 on MES. But I want that to be available in a much more quicker and efficient way, and something that, I can use on, whether it be on the go or, maybe a part of my setup. Maybe it could be like a little window, part of my setup, so I can just instantly, quickly be like, okay, this is a 15 tick trade. I want to risk like 250. All right, how much is that based off of the instrument? So that's what I really want to do, and I believe that it can help people. Again, very dynamic markets, especially for scalpers, and I just want to be able to help in some kind of way. So yeah, I'm really learning this stuff. I can't even remember how many. Maybe this is day 3, I would say. Uh, Again, it goes with that balance of me wanting to tame myself, because when I get into new things, I get very excited, and then I want to work on it all the time, watch videos about it, and this, that, and the third, and then that just gets me obsessive, which is a good thing, but it gets me burnt out, and I don't necessarily know if I want to keep on doing that. Like, that's just in my bones, like, but that's just who I've been. But I just don't want to get so into it that once it gets like really difficult and it's hard for me to understand, that I get frustrated, because it's like I want to keep on continuing and growing. And yeah, it's like I don't want to go too hard because I don't want to give it my all to potentially fail. It's a lot of fear. It's fear within me. I'm like, I've already like recognized that I have that due to trading in my experience. And so coming to this, it's like, okay, what's gonna be just like trading? Oh, this is gonna mess me up just like trading. And yeah, so it's like I'm getting in my own way. Honestly, I feel like if I'm excited about something and I want to go and do it and I have the ability to do it, I should do it. And one thing that I can say that I am proud about is that I know when I need to stop. I know when I need to take a break. But yeah, I just get very excited, and it scares me because I don't want to get my hopes up again. I was like, why am I don't want to get my hopes up into something that I believe can like boost me up, really can gain something and like build, and and then it's like I get shot. I'm afraid of failing. Or not even failing. I guess failing. I guess so. But it's just more so like not getting to a place where I know it's possible. And it's like I put so much energy into trading, and so being here in this point is not to say that I'm gonna get rid of trading or anything like that, but it's just like I just want to find something because I know that there's something out there for me, and I'm not a quitter. So I know that, hey, if this is not for me, I'm gonna go and try to find something else that there is. And this is what came out from that. Like, I just was here thinking, and just me coming back to coding and specifically doing this type of mobile app was got me into coding again and wanting to code. And that's just a lot of like trauma in itself, but also just wanting to just go with it because it's like I can't let my past dictate my future. But it's very difficult. Like I'm like thinking about everything, and it's like, yeah, but it's like it's hard. So I'm just trying to find something that's a little bit easier than trading. Um I don't know anything about this Flutter or coding or anything like that. I was talking to chat, and they're like, yeah, if you stick to it with 6 months, you can finish everything and understand and learn everything. And I was just like, wow, 6 months. Imagine where I would be now, 6 months, if I did it. I always think about that. I always think about the past. But it's like, I can't do that. But yeah, I mean, I am where I am today because of everything before. So I'm grateful. I feel like even if trading doesn't end up working for me, the principles that I've learned from trading really helped me, you know, so much along my like this journey in my life and how I feel about things. I'm not the best at it, but I have improved significantly. Like I get frustrated, I get sad, I get angry, but it's very controlled. It's just like, okay, it's like at the end of the day, it's like I know nobody cares. At the end of the day, I know that, and it doesn't make it hurt less for me, but it's just like I know that nobody cares, and it's just like whatever. But yeah, just gotta keep on pushing. But yeah, let me just show you. So where I left off, I was just back up here in this area, just creating the class, and then we finally got to the part where we started making some of the content. This is when we actually start building stuff within it, and these are all my notes that I have for each thing. I didn't really put notes for these because they're kind of self-explanatory for me. I have some experience with like CSS, so just seeing these, it's like, okay, I mean, in plain English, kind of. So I kind of get what they're talking about. Not to like, but good extent. So from that idea, and like understanding those things, I was thinking like, how can I get two inputs? Because that is like one of my things. So what's going to be the just basic thing? It's going to be a drop down, and I'm just going to stick to one instrument just so I can just figure it out. It's going to be MES and just get that, So the goal is to spit out how many contracts you need based on the amount that you put in as far as risk. So the risk per trade, and then what it's going to ask you is for the stop loss tick amount. Like how many ticks is your stop loss? That way, you with the amount that you already know, which is something that I feel like we all know how much we want to risk per trade, or at least we should if we want to have proper risk management. This is what this is about. So we all know how much money we want to risk per trade, and something that we can easily find, especially if you use trading view. That's an easy tool, or just simply using a something that measures your tick length. You can find out how many contracts you need every time. And we know that a lot of the times that there are going to be fees and commissions for these trades that we're doing, and that varies. So that's something that I was thinking about trying to include maybe later down, but I don't really want to. So what I'm thinking is just putting it so where there's like the floor. I know a little bit of from like Python, like there's like a way for you to get a certain amount of contracts based on how much risk, right? It's gonna be a decibel, some of the times, depending. Like if it's going to be 330, like $330, and you have like 14 ticks, it's probably going to be, I don't really know, but like let's say 4.5 contracts technically, specifically, but we don't do fractions in or fractional contracts in the futures yet. So we have to I'm going to just whatever the number is, I'm just going to round to the lowest whole number. So if it's 4.7, I'm just going to say 4. And if it's like 5.2, 5, just so that it's basic. And sometimes it's going to be on point, sometimes it's going to be under, where that can help you because it's going to be giving you a bit of a buffer for the fees and commissions. Because a lot of the times I would have my risk as exactly like 250 risk per trade. But then, due to the fees and commissions, if I lose like one trade 250, I'm actually losing like 280 on the day. And that might be something that some people are okay with, but it's like mathematically, if I'm wanting to risk 250 per trade and have that, like if you're calculating everything based off of that, your P&L is going to be off. So honestly, going one contract down helps with taking the trade, and then when the fees and commissions hit, get you to the range that you were looking for. Honestly, it's been something that I've been using recently, actually. But anyway, slowly but surely getting there. I hope to be done this app by tomorrow. I think that's a good destination. Anyway, I am always somebody who puts a timeline on things, and I need to stop doing that because it will make me feel so bad. So I'm gonna give myself a year to get this done. That sounds ridiculous to me. Like there's no fucking way that this is going to take me a year. Like if I really want this to work out for me, which I really want, I want to see it done. Like I want to see it done, even if it's the basic version of it. I want to see it done, but most importantly, honestly, I want to see it pretty. I want to be able to use the UI and do all that fun stuff to make it look like a nice like app that you would like want to use. Like that's the part that I'm honestly the most excited about, is to have the code that I write be there, work well, but then like it look cool and like efficient and shit. Like I just love that part. So but slow and steady, not really my memo, but we're gonna get there. We have been slow. I have been taking it slow, and I haven't been trying to rush. I've been just trying to be me, be myself, and yeah, just kind of work with myself. So if you want to do something like this, if you're inspired to do something like this, learn it in the way that's best for you. ChatGPT may not be something that aligns with you, maybe in your head, just the way how you learn, or maybe ethically, morally. But there's other methods, I know who I am, and I know that this is something that I knew was going to work for me if I really just, actually gave it a chance, like sat down with it and actually gave it a one, line by line, and actually dedicate some time to it. I'm not a YouTube tutorial person unless it's like quick. Reading has never been the my vibe. Like I can do it, but it's not like the best way for me to learn. Very much learn on the thing, and that's why I this is how I'm learning through building the app. Because if it's like, oh, I just learned variable and it's just kind of like on its own, it's kind of like, okay, who cares? But if the variable is related to something that I actually care about, like the risk calculator, then it's like, okay, I understand its importance, I understand why it's there, and maybe I'll be able to understand when to use it again for something else. So yeah, I just I just want to do well, and I think that freaks me out. But I still like it, so I'm gonna continue. But yeah, that's just the update that I wanted to give you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see my progress on making this app. This is just so crazy. I didn't even think. Who would have thought, right? But yeah, I'm excited for this journey, and yeah, I'm excited to show you guys, what happens. So stay tuned. All right, see ya. Bye.